Pew pew!
Hey guys, Tara here for Rev3 Games, and I am burning the midnight oil tonight at the Xbox event. Of course, they just had their press conference this morning. They've got a lot of games and a lot of the hardware to be shown off here. There's some long lines, so I will admit I have not seen every single thing they have to offer, but one thing that I did make a beeline for was the new version of Kinect. And they had somebody there doing demos. Obviously, you know, it's 6 players, so they had up to 6 players on the demo stage at once. I was able to get on there myself, and one of the first things they showed me was the new 3D image mapping that the Kinect version 2.0 can do. They say that it's 3 times more accurate than the previous version of Kinect. What's interesting is that it actually has a night vision setting. So the guy who was demoing the Kinect for me pulled out a flashlight and shined it right at the camera, shined it all over the floor. You couldn't see a single thing on the night vision Kinect camera. Very interesting. They also showed us the orientation option, which is the way that Kinect is able to determine which way that you're facing. It'll basically show your entire body as a series of blocks. So every time you say rotate your arm, it'll show the block that's your arm moving. They also show the most basic version shows a skeleton of you. Here's the really interesting thing. It can actually determine muscle force and movement. So your skeleton just sort of appears as a series of lines connected by dots. But when you say put even the slightest more emphasis on your right leg than your left, your right leg of your skeleton will actually turn red and sort of get bigger. And it can detect where you're actually exerting your force. So I pushed the guy, I pushed his chest as he was standing next to me. It didn't quite register my arm movements the same way that it did my legs, but it does show, for instance, the Z-axis. So when I punch towards the Kinect, it'll show a bigger circle than if I were to just say lightly tap towards the Kinect, which is very interesting. I'm sure that has a lot of implications in games like Rise, which I have not been able to check out here, but which I'm sure makes use of a lot of those features and functions. They also showed the heart rate monitor, which is something that completely blows my mind. I don't know exactly how it works. I think it has something to do with the color inside your face. I don't know, maybe it's capillaries or something. It doesn't actually show you a legit number for your heart rate monitor, but it will show you a graph that goes up and down of how you're doing, which I'm sure is going to be really useful for a lot of fitness games. The last thing that they showed me was quite interesting. Basically, it can detect your facial movements to such a precise degree that it can tell if you're talking at the moment, which I will admit is not completely accurate. There were times when I was smiling with my teeth open, like so, and it thought that I was talking, but I wasn't. It can also tell your engagement levels. So if you are, for instance, paying attention to a game, it'll say, yes, you are engaged. If you are turned to the side, perhaps, and talking to a friend, it will say that you're not engaged. I don't know exactly what they plan to do with that technology, but we have been hearing a lot of rumors about, you know, them possibly being able to detect if you're watching a commercial or ignoring one. I really hope that that's not the route that they go with this, but it definitely seems like it is an option. I think one of the take-home messages here with the new version of Kinect is that it's much more precise than the previous version, and it's going to be suitable for a lot more different kinds of living rooms. So I got up maybe about 3 feet away from the Kinect. It could still detect me perfectly. I went to the back of the stage, which was about 12 feet away, and into the corner. It could still detect me. It actually detected our camera guy, which is really funny. He kept getting in the image. So yeah, it definitely seems like a step up from the previous version. I'm excited to see a lot of the games that utilize this technology, and I hope there's a lot here.